Clicked. Button one. All right, we are live there. Let me go live on Instagram. There we go.
Stacey, I need a private lesson from you on how to do all of this.
Yes, ma'am. We could do that. Let me make sure I mute all this stuff. Okay, that's muted. That's muted. Okay, that's that. That's that. Hello, everybody. Give me a second to get it together in life. Hold on, real quick, real quick. I can see good morning, Olaja. I can see comments now. I can respond. We're moving up in the world, y'all. Hey. Hey, people on Instagram. Hey, fellow, I guess, fiber artists and fashionistas on YouTube and Facebook as well. Today, we have, hold on, we have Miss Laverne Benton of BzyPeach and Miss Lafeyet'ta Miller of Mommie Made It. Welcome to our fourth episode of Meet the Designers for Strands 2024 Spring Show. How are you ladies today?
Wonderful.
Okay, so
I'm doing well.
let me introduce the fact that Lafeyet'ta Miller is one of the designers of the Strands 2024 show. This show is a little bit different because Miss BzyPeach, Miss Laverne Benton, is one of our handmade artisan vendors at Strands 2024, and she will be telling us all about the things she will be selling at the show and a bit about her designs as well. So I just wanted to put that out there before we get going. All right, so I am going to ask Lafeyet'ta questions first, and then Miss Laverne, you can answer as you see fit, and then you can speak on whatever it is that you want to speak on and announce and, talk about. So you will have the floor. All right, so thank you again, Ms. Lafeyet'ta, for wanting to participate in our 6th year of shows. What made you want to be part of Strands?
Well, I don't know. I've always wanted to do a fashion show since I've learned how to crochet. So my goal was to put on a show for everyone to see what I've created. I'm kind of closed off when it comes to my creations. I kind of like hide everything. I don't really post as much as I should because, I want that wow factor when I show it off. So I've always looked to do a fashion show. But when Strands came about, I actually accidentally fell upon the Strands brand, and I started to research a little bit, and I just loved what I see. Like, I love the fact that you can be yourself. I love the fact that you're able to, express yourself in it. To me, being in this group, it actually helps me to feel like welcome. It helps me to feel like I can strive to do better and be more. So I'm looking forward to, the opportunity to like show off myself, come out of my shell, and let everybody see what I can do. And I'm grateful for this opportunity. I'm grateful that, you gave me the opportunity to be able to do this.
Oh, you are so welcome. And you are so very welcome. And thank you so much for everything you just said, because that's exactly what Strands is here to do, and why we exist is to give us some validation, one, in this whole fiber arts world, and two, to make us all better and know that we are part of a community of support. It's all about collaboration and camaraderie around here. We don't compete with each other. Everybody has their lanes, and it's all about, all of us together. So thank you very much for those words. I totally appreciate you, and you might get quoted somewhere. Okay, so just know that. Okay, so
I'm fine with that.
Can you tell us a bit about yourself and what you do when you're not crocheting? Lafeyet'ta.
I am a pretty much full-time mommy when my kids are out of school. I recently worked for this the government where I live at. It was kind of a crazy situation. So, I'm pretty much being an entrepreneur right now. I'm, learning about, all the ways that I can, make money for myself. I'm learning more about the crochet of it all. Like it's really new to me. So, I have the opportunity to be free right now. So my hubby takes care of the bills. I'm home, I'm creating, I'm taking care of the kids, which before when I was working, I was having to kind of like sneak and crochet, do it on my breaks, doing when nobody's watching, do it in the car. So now I have more freedom to, I pretty much crochet everywhere, in the car, at the doctor's office.
Sorry.
So
Go
I'm
ahead.
just
My
learning more
bad.
about me. I'm learning more about the craft, about the business. Just trying to, better myself as a person, and as, trying to learn more as a designer to actually become a true designer, in this
Right.
world. So that's what I do. I'm mommy and I'm creator.
Okay. Hey, that's a lot, in itself. So welcome aboard to both of those worlds, mommy and creator. Being in Strands will definitely make you step up your game when it comes to designing, because you will be around some really talented designers, and people who just really work off the cuff and off of their, off the dome with their designs. So, and a lot of us, and a lot of them are willing to give up information, to help you succeed in whatever it is you're trying to do. So again, thank you and welcome aboard. Miss Laverne, what about you? Tell us about yourself, and what do you do when you're not crocheting?
Oh my goodness. Okay. So thank you so much for having me. I am Laverne Benton. Online, you can find me anywhere as BzyPeach. So a lot of people will call me Peach or Peachy, or if they're younger, sometimes they say Miss Peach. I'll answer to Auntie Peach too. um, I live in Atlanta. I am a yarn dyer who specializes in plant-based fibers, a couple of blends every now and then, but my main focus is 100% Pima cotton, as well as 100% tencel. I started dyeing. Well, I started my business about 5 years ago. I started dyeing about 4 years ago, and it's been a ride. The fun thing that I also crochet. I do not knit. I won't knit. I am a crocheter. There is enough crochet for me to crochet until the end and not do it all.
Until the end of time.
Huh?
I said until the end of time.
Exactly. And what was the other part of the question? What else do I do? Is that what you were asking?
Yes. Like, what do you do when you're not crocheting? Yeah.
Oh gosh, yeah. So I am still employed in corporate America, so I do have a full-time job, and then I am a mom of two. I have a 13-year-old and a 25-year-old. My 13-year-old is in middle school and just precocious as can be, but super sweet. And I have a 25-year-old that's about to get married, so I am helping with wedding planning. So I too am a mom. I'm a single mom though, and I run the household, I run the business, and so what do I do? Everything. Name it, I've done it, I'm sure.
Okay. All right. Okay, so hold on. Let me get some up here. Hold on a second. I would like to say hello to Rhonda and Sharon and everybody who's watching us out there on YouTube. Who taught you how to crochet, Lafeyet'ta? You there? Can you hear me?
Actually, yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes. Now I can.
I'm sorry. I think I'm still lagging. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
So, actually, I was pregnant, and I seen a pair of like Nike booties that I really loved, And I'm just a creative soul. So I just tell myself, you know, if I want to do it, I'm going to try it. If it works out, it works out. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So I went to the craft store and I printed out a pattern. I bought a pattern on Etsy, printed it out, went to the craft store, and I spoke to the lady at the craft store about, you know, my project that I wanted to start. And so happened, she was a crochet designer, and she had her own business, and she sold baby clothes. So she showed me all of the things that she made, and I started to get excited. And then she started telling me about her friend who did it, and she's like, you know, this is a great business, you know, not that many people are doing it, you know, it's really underrated. So if you, you know, become good at it, you can, you know, make a good business. So I'm always, you know, on top of, if I can make $1 off of it and I can do it well, I'll do it, you know. So I just attempted it, and I started making the booties, and because my creative mind doesn't allow me to follow a pattern all the way through. Like once I get comfortable with the pattern, I just start going off on my own.
Right.
And sometimes it doesn't work out, but a lot of it works out. And I love the fact that I can just build upon somebody else's idea and make it my own. So I just started with that. I just started making things. And because it was difficult for me to follow a pattern, I just figured I fell in love with a double crochet. So I fell in love with the double crochet stitch. So I would do that for everything. The single, I felt like the single crochet took too long. So I would go with the double all the time. And then I just started making things, and my mind went crazy, and I would watch YouTube, and I would have an idea, and I would say, hey, I want to make this shape. Go on YouTube, find the shape, and then I would put it with my idea of whatever I made. So it just came about from that. So YouTube is a big helper of my learning skills. I just watched a lot of YouTube videos, and then I just went based off of what my mind told me to do, and it's been great. I'm loving it. I make everything from baby clothes to hats to sweaters to blankets to purses. I've even made baby shoes. So, you know, I try it. Anything I see that I like, I'm gonna try it.
Okay. Mommy made it, right? Okay, so I'm also on the back, on the other half of that question is, how long has it been since you've been crocheting? How long have you been crocheting?
This will be my 3rd year in April.
Oh,
So I just been
okay.
crocheting for 3 years only. Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, you jumped right into it.
I did. And I love it. It's everything to me now. Everybody, like, even when somebody says to me, "Oh, what are you knitting?" And I'm like, I'm crocheting. I'm like, knitting is with 2 and crocheting is with 1. I have to like sit there and explain everything so they have an understanding. Like, this is a whole nother thing here. I feel like sometimes knitting is kind of cheating, because crochet, we only have 1 hook and 1 ball of yarn. So I'm always like, yeah, crochet.
That is funny. That's funny. You said cheating. Okay. Well, we might touch back on that later. We'll see. All right. Miss Laverne, who taught you how to crochet? And how long?
It was one of my grandmothers. I don't really remember which one, because they were both crafty women. My dad's mom was always doing some type of craft in Sunday school. You know how you do Sunday school back in the day, and you did all the little, crafts or vacation Bible school. And she was always putting stuff together. And then my other grandmother, she was doing like ceramic stuff. And my mom and my aunt were artists. So we always had a lot of creative stuff going on. But it was one of my grandmothers that taught me. And so I may have been around 10 or so. That's kind of the answer I give, because I don't remember exactly how old I was. But I put it down as a teenager because, you know, I wasn't cool to crochet. But when I went back to school in my 40s to get my master's, I needed something to kind of calm my mind at the end of the evening. You know, because I was working full time. I was doing the school on the weekend. And sometimes I just need to sit and let my mind relax. And so I picked up crocheting. And I came to YouTube to learn how to do a granny square because I only knew how to do double crochet. I didn't really understand single crochet. They taught me how to do double crochet. So I went to YouTube to figure out how to do a granny square. And so needless to say, while I was in school back in 2015, 2016, I did a lot of granny square projects, a lot of granny square blankets, a lot.
Did you put them together after or as you went along?
No, just one huge granny square. So I did
okay.
a queen size one for my bed. I did a twin size one for my niece, my cousin. I did another queen size one for my oldest daughter's bed, and then the little ones for the baby. She was younger then. So no, I would just start in the middle and just keep working and keep working and keep working.
Whew, that's patience.
Girl, that was peace of mind.
I guess that is calming and soothing because you do with a granny square, you absolutely get into a rhythm and one that you don't have to like thoroughly focus on either. So yeah, I can see that. I can see
but
that.
Every now and then there's a cluster that only has two, or one. But I wasn't a frog.
Corner.
The corner's a little wonky. I didn't frog stuff. I just kept going.
Right, because you're not gonna be able to tell when it's done anyway. So,
and if you are, you're looking too close. Back up. But
okay.
If I can also share real quick about dyeing, because I know that's kind of why you have me here, because I'll be selling my yarn and vending. Dyeing I started doing 4 years ago, so in the midst of the pandemic. One of our fiber friends, Roz, she was like, I'm gonna dye some yarn at the house. I was like, you can do that? She was like, yeah. She's like, you just need this, and this. And I'm like, So I was like, well, let me figure this out. So I went to Walmart and I bought some white yarn off the shelf and a couple other things that I needed and started playing around. And I was like, oh, this is fun. And that's how that began.
The patience, I think that is amazing that you get to play with color like that, but I could not even deal with winding up yarn and all.
I'm gonna have to get you over here in my kitchen in the lab and get you to dye some yarn. I think you like it.
I want to do that part, like put my hands in the colors and mess with the yarn. But anything after that, I don't know. I don't know, but yeah, okay, yes, please, and yeah, I want you to be able to give a class on that one day with some kind of event that I have.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah, that'll be cool. Being able to color up your own yarn colorways. Mm-hmm. So okay, all right, yes. So you can focus. You can direct this however you want to with your responses between crochet and hand dyeing. And even are you still? You have your journals, right?
I do. I do. I will. I'll grab a couple of those while you're talking with Lafeyet'ta, and I'll share a bit of those, and I'll have a few of them with me on hand at the event as well.
Yes. Miss Laverne has a lot of wares to hawk. So, yes, please let everybody know. Okay. Miss Lafeyet'ta, what inspired? Well, you've already told us what inspired you to pursue crochet fashion design. So we kind of know that already, right? Yes. Describe your niche and target market, and who are your pieces made for?
So honestly, I don't know, because I'm like really so widespan with everything. I will say I love to make purses. Okay. So that can be for anybody, anybody can wear a purse, from a baby to a grandparent. So I like to make and I like to make I've come to realize that it's resort wear. Like show a little something, but actually, also show off what you're wearing as well. Right. For those moments you want to be cute, but you don't have to put on too much. So I do make a lot of resort wear. I make a lot of bathing suits. I make a lot of, skimpy clothing that, might only go for, when you're on vacation. But I also like to make elegant things. Like, I'm working on some things for the fashion show to pull myself out of my comfort zone. I want to make more elegant things. I want to make more things that other people can wear. I have people in my family who, look at things that I make and they're like, "Oh, that's beautiful, but I can't wear that." And I'm like, I can't wear it either, but it'll look nice on somebody else. So,
I mean, you can
I
wear
want to make
whatever you
things,
want.
yeah, I like to do whatever. I don't like to like box myself into one thing. I'll make pretty much anything if I'll try. I try to make anything. I can't do everything, but I'll try to do anything. And if I can, I'll do it. I just like to push myself to different limits. I don't like to stay in one zone. If I can do it, I'll do it.
Yes.
So I like to amaze
absolutely
myself.
I understand
And
that.
then I see the amazement in others too. I like to see that other people like it. I might love it, but it's, about what the other people think as well, because you're targeting other people to purchase your things or to, have interest in what you're making. So I just try to strive to be the best, and I look for everybody. My target is anybody who loves, a crochet, knitted, handmade piece. I want to double back to, you asking what I do outside of crochet. I mentioned that I was, very creative, but I didn't really tell you all the other things that I do. Like I braid hair.
Okay.
I have a Cricut machine. So, the world is endless with the Cricut machine. I make shirts for my kids. I make outfits for my kids. Their school love to see what kind of things I can come up with. I like to make outfits for, I just made a beautiful outfit for Valentine's Day. I don't know. I'll see. Because I don't know if I'm putting it on the runway or not. But I want to show it to somebody, but I'm trying to see if I'm going to bring it with me or not. But, I try to do a little bit of everything. I do a little bit of everything. I make things. I've made jewelry. I've, made hand soap. I've made hair oils. It's like the world is endless when it comes to creativity. But back to the crochet, this is something that I really love. It gives me peace. When I was working and I was stressed, I would use that to help calm me. I would just get into the crochet of it all, because that's everything of it all. I would get into my yarn and my needle, and I would just make things, and it would make it so peaceful for me. I could just zone out, and it brings so much peace to me. So I know I just drifted off a little bit, but I wanted just to highlight that, crochet is pretty much everything to me now.
This was called Meet the Designers for a reason. So it's all about you. We don't have to go so scripted with what I want. This is about, what you want to tell us. I'm flexible.
Yes.
So for you, Laverne, same question. Describe your niche or target market, and who are your pieces or products made for?
So I have an assistant who's gonna help me answer this question, apparently.
Yes, tell us who that is.
This is Loka, and apparently she's a little needy right now. And I have another shop assistant, Juniper. And he is napping somewhere. So, but my niche is plant-based fibers. When I got into dyeing, there's so many wonderful wool dyers out there. And I absolutely love what they do. And I'm also an Aquarius, and I'm like, I'm gonna do something different. There's that part of me that's like, I'm just gonna be a little different. I'm gonna do something that everybody else isn't doing. And so, that's kind of how I found cotton. Plus, it's hot in Georgia. It's hot. And so cotton and tencel fibers are fabulous for down here. So my market, my audience are people who love to knit and crochet and create fiber arts, but want to do something a little different. They want to try a different fiber. They could be allergic to wool. There are a lot of people that have wool allergies. I actually ran into a young lady, one of my fiber friends here in Georgia. She's allergic to acrylic. And so, you know, she gave me all of her acrylic to use because it would break her hands out. So my cotton and tinsel is perfect for her. I also, when I first started, Stacey, you had mentioned the journals. And so I initially started by creating fiber art journals because one of my girlfriends gave me a journal and it was gorgeous. I loved it. I love what was inside. I love the idea of it. But on the front was beautiful blonde lady. And, you know, that just didn't relate. Like I couldn't relate. And so I was like, I want a journal that has somebody that looks like me on the front of it. And I looked, then I looked, then I looked, and I couldn't find it. So I said, no problem. We're going to make it.
So make it. Right.
Yeah. So I was like, we're going to make it. So I do the digital artwork. I create all of these are original images that I create on my journals. I self-publish them. And so they are here, and they start with, you can do keep track of your yarn, you can curate your yarn stash, you can create a space to document your projects, and then there's also like free space if you just want to write, do a dot journal, any of those things. And so my main focus for that was representation, like make sure we're represented, you know, in this particular market. So in this case, I have, you know, Black women, I have Black men, because we have some beautiful brothers who are out here knitting and crocheting out here in these fiber art streets. So you definitely
in these streets with us,
right? Listen. And so to be able to tell a dude, you know, that's crocheting, like, hey, I have something that he might not be exactly like you. Like, you might have a little bit more hair than this brother, but I'm just saying, you know, you can see you in in this, right? But there's something for everybody, right? So if you know, love yarn chicken, you know, lose it yarn chicken, not likely. They have cheeky little sayings at the top of them. You know, a gentleman never tells the size of his yarn stash. You know, get your mind out the gutter, right? I did some that were Divine Nine focused. And so this one, you could tell by the colors, says Pretty Girls Pearl, and their Tunisian doesn't curl, because you know the pretty girls love pearls. So that's just the general idea. And so, you know, that was my audience when I started with the journals, was to present something to represent us Black fiber artists out there. You know, there can be a lot of challenges. Sometimes folks look at us like, oh, you knit, you crochet? Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. You're creative in that way? Absolutely. And I think that we should be able to find things that, you know, represent us too.
For us, by us, all day long.
Hello, FUBU.
Yep.
Right.
For real. I totally agree with that. Yeah. Hence Strands. A space to, you know,
To be us.
Yeah. All day long without code switching, without doing any of that other stuff.
Oh, that's a whole nother live conversation, but yes.
Yep, absolutely. Okay. All right. So, Lafeyet'ta, what is your typical approach? Let me rephrase that. How do you typically approach the design process for a new piece?
So sometimes I don't know, I see something, like I'll see a picture online and I'm like, oh, this is pretty. I want to make something similar. I want to see what I can do. How can I put my spin on this? Or sometimes I've gotten into drawing. So I've drawn out a lot of pieces, just sketched out. I think about the colors I want, or just something that took my attention, and I would put that on a piece of paper and say, okay, I'm going to build on this. So I like to draw out a lot, because then I can see how it's going to come out. And even sometimes I'll draw it and then I start creating, and that mind does what it wants to do. And then I go back and I'll fix my drawing to match what I've now created. But I like to see that I've made a few things that I've drawn out, and then I've come back and I've actually made them in the way that I've drawn them. And I love that. And I want to learn how to sketch and be able to make things from that, but I don't want to take away from my creativity as well when it comes to like forming myself into a box. So I just
but
I
you
think about it, whatever comes to mind. I'm like off the top of the head with certain things.
But you can learn the technicals and the fundamentals without it interfering with your creativity. So don't think of it as being a takeaway if you are learning how to fundamentally and technically do something. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So that's a good thing. So if you can find that information and get that technical knowledge, that it won't take away from your creativity. It will actually add to it, because then you'll be able to actually know what you're doing. Like I met someone the other day who mentioned that she was like, oh, I'm not about the color, because I was asking about colors of yarns together. She was like, oh, I'm not the color person, I'm the math person. And I was like, you know what? I need to holler at you. You know, I need to take a crochet math class. Like, that's some real stuff, you know? So learning the technical and fundamentals would be a good thing to help you even be able to create and design better and further, if you know like the basics, because really it is math. It is a bunch of numbers and the placement of those numbers. So it'll be helpful. Don't think of it as being a takeaway at all. So if you get that knowledge, be grateful to get it.
Absolutely. So Stacey, you know, our friend Yolanda likes to use that quote, and she'll say, learn the rules so you can break them, you know.
Right, exactly. That too. Learn the rules so you can. I'm good at that one. I'd be like, okay, so what do I need to know? Okay, all right, I'm so good at that. Unfortunately, I don't know if that's a red flag, green flag. I don't know what kind of flag that is, but I'm good at learning all the rules and learning how to be like, okay, I can maneuver around that one.
Let me find my
all right, same question to you, Laverne. How do you typically approach the design process for a new piece or a new colorway, or, you know, when it comes to design or dyeing?
Well, just to kind of piggyback on what Lafeyet'ta was saying, because I do crochet and I do love to, you know, design and crochet as well, more so just for me and for fun. And I will do some patterns, and they'll be for sale at Strands too. I have some patterns available for sale. But you know, for me, I just love to sit down with the shape of something, or I'll see something like you said, and I'll have an idea and I'll just kind of get started. And then I love learning new stitches and then how that can help. So like, I know a lot of times people who'll do like graph gans or like images will use like HDC, half double crochet, but like I love doing single crochet, because to me it gives a little bit more flexibility in the image when you're doing, you know, something like that. When it comes to dyeing yarn, sometimes I am inspired by my environment and my surroundings. I'll see something outside. Like I have I can't remember what it's called, but it's one of the magnolia trees. It's not just the white one. It has like white and peach and kind of purplish, you know, flowers. So it'll bloom like one weekend, and like those colors are inspiring. So I know I came in and took a look at, you know, the dye options that I had, and was like, how could I, you know, work up the dye colors to be as close to, you know, the color of that flower as possible. How can I dye it so that one part is white, one part is more purplish, one part is more pink, and I'll just play around with it. So sometimes I have some failed experiments laying around. I try to do like 2 skeins of colorway when I'm experimenting, And if it doesn't work, I'm like, okay, well, we're gonna just like, well, that's something else.
What is
Sometimes
doesn't work? Because
Huh?
what is doesn't work? It doesn't meet what you thought it would be in your head, or just
Right. Exactly. Like I have a vision or an idea of what I think the color should do, how it should look, how rich it should be, or how intense, or how pale it should be, or if it should have more blue versus red or more yellow. And if it doesn't look like I want it to look, sometimes I, like I'll still go ahead and put it out there for sale, because just because it doesn't necessarily meet my expectation doesn't mean it's not beautiful,
right.
and someone else might not like it.
That's what I was going to get at.
Yeah, I mean, one of my colorways that I absolutely don't like, it's a combination of two colors. I can't stand it, but it's one of my better sellers. But that's just preference, right? That's just my preference. But a lot of people like it, so I sell it, I dye it. You like it, I love it.
Isn't it annoying when people like stuff that you don't like, but you make it? It's like, look, dude, can't you like the stuff that I like?
Yeah, I mean, so that's a tough thing as a creative, right? Because you are creating from what either makes you happy or brings you joy. And then if you're doing a business, then you have to balance that with, well, what are my customers going to buy? So that's a whole nother live conversation, right? But yeah, sometimes it can be annoying, but I try to create what I like, and hopefully people will come to that, because for me, dyeing yarn is fun. It brings me joy. I love it. If it's not bringing me joy and I don't like it, I don't want to send that bad intention out into the world. I want to, when you get my yarn, that I've loved on it. I've created colors that, do something for me, and I hope that they do something for you.
Except for that one blend.
But that's okay. Like, it's grown on me. I don't know that I would ever crochet something out of it to make for myself, but I'll sell it to you because they like it. So that's great, and that makes me happy, because you have my yarn, you've made something with it, and and so it's making you happy. That makes me happy. I'm just not gonna crochet something with it. Actually, I have to correct myself. I made an amigurumi piece that I actually used that yarn in because it fit the theme that I was doing. So scratch all that.
He's like that sometimes, right?
Did I answer your question?
It bees like that sometimes. I understand. So don't even worry about it.
Yes.
It's life. Okay. Lafeyet'ta, how do you choose the materials for your crochet projects, and what factors influence those decisions?
It depends on what I'm making. And then I spend a lot of time in the craft store. So I will go and I will feel everything. I touch everything. If I don't like how it feels, or if I don't like some types of yarn, they like, it's too much like fraying, it's too much stuff coming off of it. I don't like that, because I think about, like, if you wear it and it's doing this while I'm like pulling at it right now, it's coming apart while I'm pulling at it now. When you put it on, it's not going to last long, or it's going to catch too much dust, or it's going to catch too much. So I think about everything. I think about how it's going to make me feel if I wear it first and foremost. I just go by touch. I go by feel. I go by sight. I match the color. I try, if I have something and someone wants something in a specific color, or if I'm thinking of a specific color, I will stay on that aisle all day, or I will go to different craft stores until I find that color, or I will search on Amazon. I will pretty much do whatever I can to try to perfectly match what I'm trying to make. So with the types of yarn that I use, with types of materials that I use, I go by feel first, and then I go by sight. And if I like what I see, if I like how I feel, then I test it out and I'll try it. And if it's not looking right, or if it's not working to my liking, I'll go and I'll trade it for something else, and I'll try again. So I have tons of yarn yarn because of that.
What you
But
mean you
I
trade
just I
in?
try
You
to make
return your?
things to satisfy me.
I'm
Ma'am,
sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off, but you said you trade it back in. You return the yarn.
I won't return it if I use it.
Oh,
But
okay.
if I buy enough of it and I don't use it, well,
Right, right,
I'm a crazy buyer, so I don't just go and buy one. I'll buy
right,
5 because I don't want to go back to the store and have to buy more. So if I
right.
buy too many of one color, I'll take it back. Or sometimes I'll even keep it. I'll keep it. And my hubby's like, "Don't you have enough already? You should,
No.
use what you have at the house." And I'm like, "No, that's not what I need. That's not how I want it to look or how it should feel." Now, if I have to, I'll take it back and exchange it for what I need if I don't use it. But
Mm-hmm.
but
He
a lot
should
of
know
times
that.
I keep it, and that's why I have like tubs and tubs, and I'm looking at everybody's backgrounds, and I'm like, I need somebody to come help me organize because I have so much. But yeah, back to the question.
Laverne has a
I
nice
just go for
background too.
feel, I go for look, and then I try to match what I'm trying to create as quickly as idea.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right.
I didn't hear you.
Laverne
What
has
did
a
you say? I'm
wonderful
sorry.
background too because she
Take my
does.
flag.
She hosts Saturday morning shenanigans. So did you talk about that yet? No, you haven't talked
I'm
about that
I
yet.
looking.
did not. I did not. But if I can, I want to kind of answer the same question.
Yeah, go
As
ahead.
far as like materials and what I select. So I'm very intentional about the yarn that I dye. My cotton is 100% Pima cotton, and you just gave me an idea. So when I'm at Strands, I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna have a commercial cotton skein with me, and I'm gonna have one of my cotton skeins with me. Well, I'm gonna have a lot of mine. But I want people to be able to see the difference because I think a lot of people get turned off by cotton because they go to, a big box store and they'll see the cotton that's on the shelf there and they're like, oh, it doesn't feel good.
Yeah, because they
But
be buying peaches and cream.
I didn't want to say the name. You said it. I
Okay,
ain't
sorry,
say it.
my bad. But that's not cotton. That's not clothing. That's
I
not for
don't like that
clothes.
brand.
That's a
That's
listen.
not
Make
for clothes.
I don't like that brand.
is great for washcloths.
Yeah, it has its purposes, but it ain't.
It
for
has
clothes.
its purpose. It is not for clothing. And I have a demonstration that's on one of my lives where you could see me take a strand of that and I can pull it and pop it. It will come across. It's a short staple. It's made from leftover yarn. This is Pima cotton. Pima is premium. And so it's a long staple. It's strong. It's sturdy. It is a long staple yarn. The fibers are long staple. So if you try to pull and pop one of these, you're gonna hurt your fingers. So I'm gonna have some examples of that so that people will understand the difference. Because I'll hear it all the time. Cotton is rough on my hands. I don't like it. It's scratchy. It's tough. It's da da da. Well, you haven't tried my cotton. You haven't tried Pima cotton. It's a premium cotton. It's not a $2 skein of cotton. So it's a big difference. Same thing with tinsel. Tinsel is like silk. It is the silk of plant fibers. And so you can see the sheen already here. The drape is insane. So you want something that's going to fall nicely, drape well. Look at that.
Tell them what tinsel is made from.
Tinsel is actually made from wood. So the producers will take chunks of wood, beech, birch, eucalyptus, bamboo, grind it up. They extract the longest fibers. And in that process, it makes it shiny and silky and soft. And they spin it up. And it's actually a closed loop process. So what that means is all of the chemicals and water that's used in that process get reused again. So it's very, friendly to the environment because there's very little waste from the yarn processing piece. So a little bit of education there because materials make a difference. Like you say, Lafeyet'ta, colors. You want to spend time picking the right colors, but you also want to spend time, picking the feel, because if I'm gonna crochet and wear something, I want it to feel good. I want to feel luxury. I want to feel soft. I want it to to lay like I want it to. I don't want it to be stiff or uncomfortable. So it makes a difference.
Yep.
But you were mentioning shenanigans real quick.
Yeah.
Every Saturday morning, 10 a.m. on YouTube now, I do Saturday morning shenanigans. What is that? It's a live show. We have fun. I talk. I act silly. I'm a little goofy, a little corny. We have guests come on. Lafeyette, I'd love for you to come on one Saturday morning. It's open to anybody. We learn out loud. We talk fiber arts. We talk life. And so, yeah, so this is my background. I always make sure I have, some of my yarn showing, of course. And then these were the two patterns that we focused on today. So, yeah, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. I was at the Craftivist last weekend and I saw
I love it.
your area of your yarn there. I was like, ooh, I know her. I was like, I know her.
Yes, that's our local yarn shop. Yes.
Yeah. Yep. I like that store. It's nice. I met Vincent. So
oh, good.
Yeah, I left some goodies with him. I want to try to get over there today, but we'll see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. What's my next question? My next question is, are there specific types of yarns or fibers that you prefer to work with and why? But you kind of answered that, but if you would like to elaborate, please feel free. Lafeyette, that's for you.
I don't. I have tried like a thinner type of yarn. Mm-hmm. Oh, sorry. It's for me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We just got to
I've tried a thinner type of yarn. I know my delay is driving me crazy. But I don't really have a preference. I just go by feels. I've tried a thinner type of yarn. The thin yarns drive me crazy because I don't have as much control over them, and I have to figure out like what size needle is the best size to use when I'm crocheting with that type of yarn. But I've made an entire outfit, and I was happy that I finished it, but I was happy that I finished it also because it was a lot of work. I learned to kind of like double it.
Mm-hmm.
I would double it, and it made it a lot easier to use. But I'm trying. I want to make finer things. I want to make things that lay a lot lighter on your body. So I'm just learning to work with different things, but I like the thicker yarns. I like the yarns that are more stretchy, has more, has a little more movement to them that I can, make things. And also with certain types of, things that you make, I kind of want different sizes to fit. Like maybe a size medium and a size large can fit the same size, like a skirt or a top or something like that. So I like stretchy yarns, but I work with anything if it feels good.
I like to make sure I can throw it in the washer and dryer and iron it. That's my deciding factor on my yarns and color.
Oh, gosh.
So
girl, we gotta get you to do some hand washing. Look, especially with this hand dyed.
Right. So okay. Right. But yeah, like I need to be able to clean it up with the iron. I'm serious, like serious. Like so I do like wool, but you can't play around with some wools. You got to make sure you got the right wool, or you're gonna be mad later on in life.
Yes,
accidentally occurs in the washing machine.
Yeah.
Same question to you. Well, you've answered that actually. Plant-based fibers.
Yeah. But size is a good question too, right? You were mentioning thinner yarns versus thicker yarns. So the yarns that I offer, I have a DK weight, which is a size 3. And then I also have fingering weight, which is a size 1. Or sometimes people call it sock weight. And so, it's interesting to see what people prefer. If they prefer to use, the sock weight, the really skinny yarn versus DK. And I do sometimes I have a limited supply of Aran weight, which is going to be a little bit closer to a size 4 worsted. It's a little bit heavier. But again, with cotton and tencel, you don't have that bounce. You don't necessarily have that stretch like you might have with acrylic or, or wool or animal fibers. So, it behaves a little differently. You just kind of have to know that your stretch comes from your design or from the stitch that you use. Correct. Versus the actual fiber itself. So correct. I love that, with certain fibers, you can create a garment that, might work for someone who's a medium, and it could, stretch enough for someone that's a large. But with my cotton and my tencel, that might not always work, just depending on the stitch, right? So, that's one of the things I try to educate people with when they're using my yarn or designing with my yarn is, make sure that you kind of play with it and you test it and you try it, because the weight, the size, the thickness of the strand, and the way it behaves can give different results. So we want you to be happy.
Yes, making that God-forsaken swatch. Like,
oh, do you swatch, Stacey?
Hell no, but I need to more.
So, Lafeyet'ta, do you swatch?
No.
I need to, though. To be honest, though, it would probably make the world of difference if I did in sizing a lot of the times, because like you said, you don't know the stretch and what's going to happen with your stitches. So and like you said, cotton will stretch based on your stitch. So with mesh, if you're using cotton with a mesh stitch, that'll fit damn near anybody. Like
right.
No matter how little that sucker looks, it will stretch.
Right.
Because I'm definitely one who loves mercerized cotton. That is my go-to yarn when it comes to garment designing. Like it has to be mercerized cotton. For the most part.
Yes.
Oh, Shateria says her swatch turns into the final project. I need, if I could just ever be so patient, is to really make a swatch, I think it would be really beneficial. But I don't be wanting to do that. I just want to go ahead and do what I got to do.
And there are different levels of swatching too that I learned. Initially it was like, okay, so you crochet it up so that you can see how it's going to work. But then there's the level where not only do you crochet it up, but then you soak it or you wash it, and then you see how it behaves after that. And I'm like,
ain't nobody got time for that. Like the thrill is gone by then. Like, please, I really want to read the preface of a book. Like, why is all of this here? Why did they didn't start this at chapter 1? Like, I want to read all this extra stuff.
Right.
I'm just teasing, but slightly. Only slightly. All right. The thinner yarn, and then my favorite size is a 3. I love sport weight yarn. For the most part, I use that for everything. I'm getting into the little quote unquote, I guess the fingering weights, the knitters yarns that I'm learning to double up. Well, I've always doubled up yarn, but I'm trying to actually use those. No, I'm still doubling it up. No, it's just that I use smaller yarn. I'm trying to think this last project that is not double, and it's that damn skinny ass yarn. And I'm using a size 4 hook. So I don't know which size you normally use, Lafeyet'ta. My favorite size hook is a 3.5. So I like to stay around the 3s, 3.5 and 3.7.
I actually started in the 3.5s now, but my 5 was my favorite. I have so many size 5 hooks, but I like between the 3.5 and a 5. Okay. I can do even sometimes a 2.5, but if I'm making something that I want to be really detailed, I'll go into a 2.5. But I pretty much have every size needle there is, and I'll try to make something with anything.
Yeah.
But I really like the 5. The 4.5 is just as good as my 5.
Yeah. When I want to,
I'm getting used to the 6 too. I've gone a little bigger.
Yeah, I don't know why I shy away from those big hooks, and then I get mad. Like, why am I taking forever to do this? Because I got this little ass hook. So I'm trying to get to the bigger hooks, but
yeah, but you know, if you're working with like a size 3 yarn, to
Mine's with my
sit there and
purses.
use like a 10 millimeter hook, it's just, you know, you know, there's I think it all depends on your comfort too. But like my favorite, I love for amigurumi, I use a 2.0 and a 2.0 metal hook for my amigurumi. But then like with my cotton, with my DK Pima cotton, I definitely prefer, what is that, a H? What's that, a 3.5 or 4.0?
H is 5.
5.
I
So
think.
No, the next one down. G.
Yeah, G is a 4 or 4.25. This is a shame.
Yeah.
Like, all the time.
And it just depends. Yeah, because I use Prim. So what is that? It's
I know the numbers, not the letters.
right. It just depends on the hook, right? That's a whole, again, another conversation. But this one is my favorite, actually. So it's a size 7, 4.5 millimeter, like in the Prim. I love that one. And a 3.5 size E as well. But my absolute favorite
like
is the, you like the which one?
Let me go with that delay.
Oh, the delay. Oh
no. Was that for me?
Yeah.
That's the lag. Can I show you guys a few things that I made with the bigger size hooks?
Yeah.
Some purses I can show you that I made with like a bigger size hook.
Yes, please.
Oh, that's gonna be awesome.
When I do jewelry, I like a 1.65. It goes 1.25 or 1.6. Oh, that's nice. That's really nice.
Nice. Mm-hmm.
Is that chunky yarn too? Oh yeah, I guess.
I think that's what. Yeah, this is chunky yarn. This was a yarn. This was something I found. It was actually on sale at Joann's, and I just love different stuff. If you can see, let me see. There it is. I love different. I just like the way that it pops out here. Like it's all different. So I think I made this with a size 7. And let me see. I have another one. I made this. I really like this one. I'm learning how to like put my like how to draw letters into the fabric. This one, I actually made this with a 5 actually, and then the bottom I made with a 7.
Did you it's hard for me to see, but did you top stitch that, or did you, you know, switch your yarn and you know, like do it like a graph?
Let me see.
I think she top stitched.
So hold on, let me see. Is it still blurry?
Just a little bit, but that's okay.
Let me see. I think I can change my setting to where it doesn't look so.
It's the camera. It does that to me too, because it's so focused on your face. It's like, you want me to focus on what?
Look what Rhonda says. She says, if I'm writing a pattern, I'm swatching the entire process.
Right.
Washing, blocking, drying.
Ooh.
There you go. Can you see it?
Oh, yeah. I can see it. Yep.
Top is like double crochet. The bottom is up. Oh, I did top stitch this. Okay. I didn't understand what you were asking at first, but yes.
Yeah, no, I like that. Okay. I like that.
I did make I had a project. Let me see. I just want to show you something else. I made this from a pattern. This here.
Ooh, cute.
Oh, that's cute.
It's like little puff balls.
Are you gonna have bags on the runway?
Yeah. I am. I'm gonna bring it up. I am. I also I have another one. I love to show off. I have another one. I actually hand stitched this one. This was my first time hand stitching something. So I'm really happy about that one.
Yeah, that's cute. Okay, why is Rhonda trolling us talking about we don't want to put on our reading glasses and use lace weight yarn? No man.
But yeah, I use all kinds of like big ones. Here's another big one we made. They
Those are
came
cute.
back. I think I used the number 8 on this one.
Okay.
They're all double crochets. Anytime I make my handbags, I do the double crochet. It's so easy. It takes me no time. I just make the bottom frame of it, and then I work my way up to the top. But they come out really easily. But yeah, I love using. I think the biggest one I've used was the number 9.
I forget what number that is. That's the N, I think. An M or an N or something like that.
Yeah, something way up there that I have not used.
Right. I have them. That's what I was talking about earlier.
Right.
I have like I got sizes I ain't never even gonna think about using. Like, why do I have this?
Right. Well, because we have to have our
know.
hooks. You never know. You never.
But why
know
do I
what you're
have
gonna
multiples of them? And then why do I never have the ones that I need? Like I can't never find the 3.5, and I know I got like 4 or 5 of them somewhere.
Okay, so I have a theory, and y'all have to tell me if this is true for y'all. Is we can't ever find the hook that we need because we have multiple whips, and so that hook is on a whip somewhere, and we starting another one, but we should be finishing the other.
Yeah, because I don't be wanting to take my hooks out of the project. Yeah,
definitely me.
Yeah, okay, I got you. All right, we are at an hour, so I'm gonna wrap this up really quick. You have already shared some projects that hold special significance, Lafeyet'ta, because those bags are really nice.
Mm-hmm.
What are some challenges you faced as a crochet designer, and how did you overcome them?
Uh-oh, my lag. I didn't even hear the last part.
Okay,
Can you please repeat it?
Yeah, I said, what are some challenges you faced as a crochet designer?
This lag is driving me crazy. I'm sorry. Can you please repeat the last part?
Is this Groundhog Day? Okay, hold on. All right.
Look at this. I don't wait.
You ready? Try this again. This is a challenge. Hey, what are some challenges you faced as a crochet designer, and how did you overcome them?
Obstacles that I've experienced as a crochet designer, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Oh God, my leg. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and say a lot of obstacles that I've encountered basically has been with like measurements, like with making things fit, because I just run off creatively and do what I do. I also have to make sure that I make things that are going to fit people, that are going to be proportionate to their size, to look right on their body. So I've had to learn how to slow down, take out my measuring tape, actually measure a person, actually measure what I'm making so that it fits the way that it needs to make. So I have to learn how to slow down. I moved a little fast when I start things. I feel like, I got it. I'm just going to run off with it and I'm going to do it. But I have to learn how to take my time. I have to learn how to take all the steps, like the rules that you guys were explaining earlier. I actually have to follow some of those rules so that I can make things come out the way that I need them to come out. So measuring and slowing down are my two biggest issues.
That's where that swatch
and I just take it day by day. I just learn, I myself that I have to do this. I remind myself, and if I don't do it, I get a reminder when it doesn't come out the way that it's supposed to come out, and then I have to do it all over again. So I take my time and I do it right.
Yes, it is. Okay. Thank you, ma'am. I hope the delay is going to catch itself up soon. All right, Laverne, same question to you. What are some challenges you faced as a designer and a dyer? And how did you overcome them?
Well, so one, having a cat in my face during a live. As a designer, I want to design more. I like to design just when the whim hits me, right? And so I'll design and do a pattern, and it also helps to overcome another challenge with dyeing, which is having people understand what they can use my yarn for, which really is everything. Like, it's everything. It's just that you have to understand that you can't necessarily take a pattern that's made for wool and do it in cotton and have the exact same results. You may have to make some adjustments. So if you're not comfortable making an adjustment, then I need you to have a pattern that you can just pick up and roll with it, because it was either made and designed for my yarn, using my yarn, or another cotton that is comparable to my yarn. So one of the challenges as a dyer of plant-based fibers is, just letting people know, like, it's approachable, it's durable, it's going to hold up, it's going to work for you. But just because it performs differently than wool doesn't make it less than wool, right? In quality.
Right.
Because the quality is on point. I'm just going to say, tooting my own horn just a little bit, but the quality is on point. So one of the challenges is just kind of educating people. It's not that other brand that you mentioned earlier that's on the shelves at Walmart. It's this premium, right? It's premium cotton, and so sometimes the pricing can get people, they may get a little sticker shock, but it's quality. So you're getting a good quality for the price that is set. I'm not going to sell it to you at a premium quality and it be a subpar product.
Right. And you have something for designers, don't you?
I do. And so I have to publish it, but I really want designers to be able to access my yarn more. And I know you can go to my page and you're like, oh, I need like 5 skeins of, cotton yarn to make this. And then you look at the price and you're like, but that's $150. So I am setting up where my designers will be able to purchase at the wholesale price, as if, you were, buying like a yarn store would buy from me. So I'm setting up a program so that designers.
Where'd she go?
My daughter called. So the designers will be able to buy at a wholesale price. So if you're seeing this now, I don't have it published on the website right away. But what you can do is you can DM me on Instagram, or you can fill out the wholesale application and just let me know in the comments that you're a designer, and I'll get you set up.
Okie dokie. Thank you. It's about time that some yarn producers, makers, dyers think about us designers and wholesaling, because we're not a store, but at the same time, like, dude,
yeah,
we need some discounts too, especially if we're trying to resell yarn. Products at reasonable prices, So
absolutely.
So yeah. So thank you for that. Speaking from Mills, I would say all designers, thank you. Okay. So let's see. Is there anything you've learned along the way that you wish you knew at the beginning, Lafeyet'ta? Are you frozen now?
Uh-oh. You might have to type it for yeah.
On the
Yeah, I think it froze.
Okay. Laverne, you go take that question in the meantime.
That's okay. Well, so give me the question again.
Is there anything you learned along the way that you wish you knew at the beginning?
Oh gosh. A lot, but I'm glad that I've learned things as I've been in business and met other folks. gatekeeping in the industry can be difficult. So there are some things that it would have been helpful to know right away. Like as a new yarn dyer, it would have been nice to know that you can use like the stand-up clothes dryers to help dry your yarn. Not like your, your household washer and dryer, but there's a stand-up yarn dryer. So another yarn dyer DM'd me and was like, hey, this is what you can use to dye your yarn. Great. Like that was a game changer because it's hot and humid in Georgia. So trying to dye yarn and have it hang up and dry in Georgia in the summertime, it was taking days. So yeah, so there's certain things, and I try to, as a someone who believes in our community, share some of those things to make it easier. I'm not gonna give you my formulas, but everything else, I'm all for it.
Yes, you got to keep some secrets.
Just a few.
Just a few. It's okay. We get it.
Mhm.
Lafeyet'ta, are you still delayed? Or are you gonna caught up? You caught up? Yeah, it's a slight.
I think I caught up.
Okay.
But I'm still learning. I'm still learning as I go. I like to share as many things as I can. I'm trying to learn how to teach because I want to be able to teach people. I have a lot of people around me that want to learn how to crochet. And I really don't know how to teach. I can show you what I do, but I don't know how to actually like teach you how to grasp the concept. So I'm still learning. There's a lot of things that I feel like I can learn. I'm still learning. I don't know. I don't really know. I feel like everything I know now I should have learned when I started. But it's the process that it takes time. You learn things as you go. Every day you learn something different. I try to learn new patterns every day, or not new patterns, but new stitches every day. If I see something I like, I want to try it. So, there's nothing that I feel that I could have learned then that I don't know now. I think just growing and learning as I go is going to help me. And then I just feel like as much as I learn, I can push out and help somebody else be as great as I want to be. So that's pretty much.
Okay. All right. So I have 2 more questions left. What are your future goals as a designer?
I want to see a lot of people in my things. Like I just want people to see how great my mind works. I want to be able to collaborate with different people. I want to learn new things from different people. I just want to push myself to different limits. So I don't know. I think the sky's the limit. I can see celebrities wearing my things. I can see everyday people wearing my things. I can see, billboards, posters, things with my name on it. So I think that's a goal for me. But I know that it takes time and it takes work, and I'm just willing to learn and grow to be that way. So that's my goal, to be a household name.
I know that's right.
Right? It's just stay open. That's the best thing you can do. Stay open to learning and accepting, the good, the bad, the ugly. All of it. Laverne, same question. What are your goals as a designer or dyer?
My goals are to continue to dye yarn, to continue to stay in business, stay profitable, learning how to kind of pivot to work with the economy and, what might be going on out in the world and present products that people, feel like they just absolutely have to have. I enjoy designing, like I said, and I enjoy publishing patterns. And so I've set up so that I can do more of that this year than I have in the past. Some of that I get my design fix in designing for many people like Barbies because they're smaller and I can knock out a pattern or a design overnight sometimes. So that's been a lot of fun. And I've even had some people say, oh, that's a cute design. I'd love to have that in people size. And I said, bet, here's the pattern. Go do it.
You figure it out. You do the math.
Yeah, exactly. Because I cannot math to make it work for everybody. So that's something that I commend you as a designer is having the patience to do the math and to work it out so that it fits all sizes. So
that's the class
yeah.
for Courtney Whitehead.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. She's fabulous at it.
Yes.
I can hook Barbies up. She can hook you up.
Yeah, right. Exactly. That's for you. Converting patterns to other sizes.
Yeah. Good class idea for you, Stacey.
Not for me, for Courtney. I'll facilitate it.
That's right.
Give you a platform for it.
That's right. That's right.
When you finished, did I cut you off? Were you finished?
I was done. That's it.
Okay. All right. All right. So last question. And again, thank you ladies for coming. How can folks get in touch with you? Where can they see your work, buy your products, and all that good jazz? And tell us where you're located.
I am located in West Palm Beach, Florida. I am on Facebook. I have Mommie Made It, or it's Lala's Crochet Wonderland. I'm also on TikTok. I post a lot of my videos on TikTok. I've learned how to edit videos, and it's kind of my favorite thing to do to show off my work. So it's Mommie Made It on TikTok. It's Mommie Made It on Instagram. Yeah, I'm learning how to start a website and do all of that stuff because I want to, better market myself. So look out for me. I will be in more places. I will be in your eyes more often. But definitely in those areas you can find me. And you will find me in Atlanta next month.
March 24th, 2 to 6 p.m.
Yes, ma'am.
Miss Laverne.
Yes. So on the socials, you can find me at BzyPeach, the @ symbol, BzyPeach. So either TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. My favorites are Instagram and YouTube. I still have a presence in the other socials, but you'll be most up to date and current with me on Instagram and YouTube, and that's at BzyPeach. My website is BzyPeach.com, so BzyPeach.com. That's where you can buy my yarn. You can buy directly as a retail client. If you have a local a yarn shop and you wish to have my yarn in your shop, you can sign up to be a wholesale partner. As I stated earlier, I'm looking for designers, if they're designers that are interested in using my yarn to create, not just because you're like making a baby blanket for your aunt, but you're designing, right? Then that program is coming. You can DM me on Instagram about that. I live in Atlanta, Georgia. So I'm right here in the metro area. And I will be at Strands next week with my table out front with some yarn and some samples and examples. And
wait a minute. As much as I want and excited for the show, you said next week. Don't do that to me.
I'm sorry. Next month. Girl, listen. Next month.
Like, listen. You know how many things I have completed yet? Don't do that.
I'm so sorry, y'all. Next month, March the 24th. March the 24th. I got stuck on the 24th. Sorry.
I know, right? That's today. Oh my gosh. That's today.
It's a month away. A month away. So next month, I can't wait. I can't wait to meet you, Lafeyet'ta, in person, and all of the other designers. So that's gonna be a lot of fun. I went last year, had a ball, and so I'll have my table. Finally, Stacey, I have my table.
Yes. She'll have her table. So you will have to make sure you shop with BzyPeach while she's there. And I'm hoping to get some sample yarns from her to put in the swag bags.
You will.
If you're a VIP ticket holder, you will get a little mini yarn to make something mini with maybe one of your doll patterns. I don't know. In your swag bags. So again, thank you ladies for coming out. Strands Fiber Arts Fashion Show. What is it? Spring 2024. The Mosaic Motif Show, because everything will be about motifs, will be March 24th from 2 to 6 at the Southwest Art Center in South Fulton, Georgia, aka Atlanta, Georgia. Pretty much. Yeah, so tickets are available at fiberartsfashion.com. That's FIBERARTSFASHION.com. And you can get to us from fiberartsfashion.com on the website or Fiber Arts Fashion on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and YouTube. Yeah, all of those. And I'm Stacey Jackson of Pink Joy Crochets. You can find me out there at Pink Joy Crochets as well. Again, thank you, ladies. Would you like to say anything else? Did you have an announcement you wanted to make, Laverne?
Oh no, I just, my tagline, I stay busy keeping you peachy. I'll see y'all on March 24th.
All right, Miss Lady, thank you. I appreciate you so much. Miss Lafeyet'ta, did you have anything else you wanted to say?
Yes. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day.
You're welcome. Bye. Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for
Bye.
watching.
Thank you.
Likewise.
Thank you, Stacey.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye.